Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another dispatch. Happy Mother's Day, all of you out there who have mothers. All you mothers out there who have progeny, happy Mother's Day. So, that's pretty creative, right? I mean, totally. Right? Okay, here we are, back with the Matisse, the chapter, the essay by Andrew Forge on Matisse and likeness. And I'm going to pick up where I left off. Consider, for example, the first drawing he made after his return home from the hospital where he had nearly died. Significantly, a page filled with a sequence of self-portraits. Among Matisse's first paintings, there are two intimist interiors in which self-portraits feature as pictures. They're like secret messages. The woman reading is turned away from us, calm and silent in the subdued light, but she is facing the self-portrait drawing which hangs on the left wall. Between the two of them, there is a clutter of still life objects, a plaster cast, a propped-up portfolio, all emblems of the life he is embarking on, the life of the studio. Over the woman's head, taking the light so that, yep, yep, over the woman's head, taking the light so that we can't make out what it is of, a picture, a luminous rectangle of pure possibility. This faces us squarely. It is the only form that does so. In the top hat still life, with the self-portrait drawing faces us, and between us and it is the desk with its jumble of papers and objects that don't look as if they had been arranged, but rather of having accumulated there as other more important things happened in the room. Standing out from all this is the top hat, emblem of the respectable legal career that Matisse had recently walked away from. And I'll put images of these in the email. The desk is surrounded with canvases, pictures, frames. The self-portrait drawing is crossed by an empty frame. Notice a curious point. Although the self-portrait in its frame is drawn in perspective as its place on the wall demands, the empty frame faces us squarely. Either it must have been carefully adjusted on the wall to do this, or its orientation deliberately distorted. Richard Wollheim, in his Painting as an Art, has drawn attention to the importance of a fact about painters at work that is so obvious that one doesn't think about it. Whatever changes that have come about in the history of painting, in materials, subject matter, scale, convention, social use, he says, there has been one noteworthy constancy, and that has been the posture, the bodily stance that the painter adopts in the act of painting. End quote. And then in parentheses, i.e., that is to say, addressing the canvas, eyes open, fixed upon it. She or he faces it. It's a commonplace of film technique that we experience the spaces of the world from four distinct aspects. Behind us, we can only see in mirrors. Upwards, where we look for glory and heroes. Downwards, where we look in dejection, or to find things, or not to step in something disgusting, or levelly, straight ahead. It is levelly that we talk to people, recognize faces. The crucial characteristic of a face, its symmetry, the feature that makes it different from a head, is only seen at eye level. This is where recognition begins. It is also at eye level that we approach pictures. Literally, when we see them in a gallery or museum, ideally, when we consider them in our mind's eye or think about their meaning. Like faces, they too are all front. Oh, the way he thinks. Oh, my. I am arguing that there is some sort of general affinity between pictures and faces. It's clear that this can be put to use as a metaphor. Picture as face would be one among several. Picture as window is another that Matisse worked with all his life. Others might be picture as wall, picture as body, and so on, each offering a trope that might yield ways of saying things about pictures that could not otherwise be said, throwing workable, if fragile, bridges between words and the silence of painting. But in accepting this possibility, I would not want to surrender my earlier and perhaps more primitive affinity. We look at pictures face to face. Both face and pictures are expressive. Both are representations. In the two early pictures we were looking at, the canvases and empty frames have a clear autobiographic importance. They stand for Matisse's tentative view of himself as a painter. There is nothing tentative about the four great decorative interiors of 1911, the Pink Studio, the Painter's Family, Interior with Aubergines, and the Red Studio. There is something triumphant about these pictures in which he declares where he stands and what he has done. In the two studios, pictures play an important and complex role. But what I want to draw your attention to is the way the center of each of these canvases is held by a rectangular form, not a picture, which faces us square on, and which dominates the action throughout the painting. In the Pink Studio, it is a folding screen draped with patterned fabrics. In Painter's Family, the Painter's Family, it is the fireplace and mantelpiece. I have no doubt that these paintings are truly self-portraits, nor that these squarish, picture-like forms on which they are centered stand in for himself. Finally, I show you the portrait of Pellerin, where the symmetrical pose confronts us with intimidating severity. The dome of his bald head occludes the frame of the picture behind him. The two, sitter and picture, are bound together by an apparently arbitrary arc of paint. The two stare back at us. Pellerin was a rich industrialist who was also the owner of the largest collection in France of Matisse's ultimate master, Cézanne. Then he goes on, but we're going to pause. We'll stop there. All right, to be continued, because I really like reading what he has to say. It's always such a pleasure. All right. As the world turns, hope you're all well. Hope you're all having a good Mother's Day. Hope you're painting, drawing, making stuff, finding ground, finding core, finding some peace. Okay. Take care, everyone. Be well. Bye-bye.